waiting this long for it to go live. Update with Kristen Mason Coreas, owner of the Homes by Mason team. My computer, it says it's unstable and it's trying to reconnect. So, all right, hopefully I'm good to go. Hopefully it's not too bad of a viewing experience for you. I am going to go ahead and dive in to today's Money Market Update for, it's March 17th. Today's St. Patrick's Day. I believe I should be wearing green. Whoops. You could kiss me. I'm Irish. I am Irish, but you can't because you're on the other side of the screen. So let's jump in. In terms of what's happening in the market, interest rates is where we always start. And they're basically flat week over week, just up a touch, 0.02% from last week. And the good news here is that they're lower than we've been. So the 4-week average and the 52-week average are at 6.75 and 6.72. So we're lower than where we have been, hovering around 7. We've been much closer to 7 for a long time. So that's relatively good news. And that actually did translate into an increase in mortgage applications. So we are seeing some evidence of increased buyer activity as a result of some decrease in interest rates. Purchase applications were up 5% compared to a year ago. So, and they're saying here that's a combination of both lower interest rates in addition to increased inventory. So both of those things will bring the buyers out into the market. In regards to economic news, again, this is a repeat. The purchase applications for mortgages rose 7% for the week and 4% year over year, according to this data point. So increase in buyer activity. Pending home sales did increase as well for the week, but slightly lower than a year ago. And that's what we're seeing in the hyperlocal data as well. I'll get to that at the end. If you stick around to the end, I'll share with you the most local, most current data that we have, which is similar to what you're seeing there. And although we still are not sure what's going to happen in regards to tariffs and inflation, we are hearing that the Fed does not expect to their rate, which is a good thing because in terms of the federal government firing a lot of people, hopefully those people will be able to go out and find other jobs. That would be great. So labor market concerns, we don't know how that's going to play out just yet. I'd love to see everyone who lost a job go be able to find another job. That'd be great. And then have less impact on the housing market because homes are where jobs go home to sleep at night. One of my colleagues likes to say, we're definitely tied to, our market is tied to what happens in the job market. In terms of the mid-Atlantic region, Virginia, DC, Maryland, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Delaware, and New Jersey, we are in the spring season officially for real estate and listings are blooming. New listings rose by about 11% with even more gains in the DC metro area that may be related to federal workers who are losing their jobs and moving out of the area. We are experiencing some of that ourselves here at Homes by Mason. We have 3 upcoming listings that are related to federal workers moving out of the area. So purchase activity is lower than last year. New purchase contracts increased compared to last week. So that is what we would normally see this time of year and in this season. However, lower than last year, which also we are seeing in our hyperlocal market. So that trend is also seen in our area. And homes are selling faster, however. So while there might be less purchase activity compared to a year ago, the time that it takes for people to make a decision and write that offer is faster than it was a year ago. And anecdotally, I can tell you here at Homes by Mason, we actually did have a listing that we just put coming soon on Friday. And in fact, we will have 0 days on market in terms of under contract. We did get someone to take a look at that home and make us a very good offer that made our seller happy over the weekend. So 0 days on market for that listing. And actually that's the second one this year. I might have told you before. We also have another listing that has a closing coming up, 0 days on the market, sight unseen. So buyers out there know what they want, and there is still demand in our area. Talking about our area, here's the DC metro area data as of March 9th. So showings are down from last year, but up from last week. Again, to most of this tracks with seasonally, we would normally see increase in buyer activity this time of year, but we are seeing some decreases compared to last year. So purchase contracts up from last week, but down 6% from last year. Time to contract, slower. In this case, slower by 2 days than last year, but faster than last week by a day. New listings are up both year over year and week over week. That is steadily what we have been seeing. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat today. And active listings up a significant number, 32.8% from last year. So as we saw in the regional area, the DC metro area, it looks like it has more activity, more listing activity perhaps than other areas. And week over week up by 6.6%. Median list price up year over year, which we normally see, but down week over week, which we normally don't see. So that might be, again, as a result of fire sales, so to speak. If people want to sell their home quickly, then they might put it on at a good price. And then let's take a look at our hyperlocal data. So this is the data that we run at Homes by Mason for specifically Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax Falls Church, the area where we do most of our business. And we run this from Monday of last week up until yesterday. So the most local and the most current data that we have for you. Here you will see that listings are up 548 in the past week compared to 455 the week before. So that tracks with the other activity we're talking about. That is an increase of 20.44% week over week. That's a bigger number than I feel like we do normally see. And year over year, that's an increase of almost 19% more inventory than the same time last year. Perhaps a result of people who've lost jobs, selling their homes, moving out of the area. That's maybe what we're seeing. Contracts are up slightly from last week. So that is good news that we're up from last week by 19.4%. However, we are down year over year by 47% in terms of new contracts. That's a lower number than the past 2 weeks. So you can see we were down 2 weeks ago by 52.5% year over year. And then last week, even more by almost 56%. So I'm happy that number is smaller, but 3 weeks in a row being down by practically 50% in year over year contracts does give me some concern that there is less buyer activity in our area. I think that is probably related to the uncertainty of employment and financial circumstances for many of the people in our area. The 36% demand to supply ratio, and this week, 36% the week before, 34% the week before, those are lower numbers than I've really ever seen, I think, since I've started tracking this. So we may be seeing a shift into perhaps a buyer's market if we continue to see listings increase and buyer activity decrease. So I will continue to watch that and continue to come back here most weeks to report on that for you. However, next week I will not be here. I'm going to take a week off because my kids are on spring break and we will be traveling. So you will get a weekly market report if you get my emails this Friday. I'll do one before I go. And then next Friday, I will be back for another weekly market report. But in terms of Monday market update, I will not be here next week until the following Monday. If you want to get on that weekly email list, shoot us an email. We do send out an email every Friday around noon, and it has a short weekly market update just for the DC metro area. So let us know if you'd like to get that. And anytime, if you want to talk to me about what's happening in the market and how it impacts you, reach out anytime, 571-210-1866. You can call me or text me. You can email me at Kristen, Kristen, at homesbymason.com, or there's a link down below if you want to go ahead and just immediately get on my calendar. Thanks for watching. Have a good week, and I will see you in 2 weeks.